What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Today, we're going to be talking about 6 players that I think can break out here in 2025 for your redraft fantasy football leagues. As always, if this is your first time at the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But without wasting any more time, let's hop right into today's video and let's start talking about these breakouts. Alright, so the first player that I want to talk about in today's video is going to be running back Omarion Hampton for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, he's currently being drafted in the 4th round of those redraft fantasy football leagues. He had back-to-back 1,500 plus yard seasons and 15 plus touchdown college seasons there at the University of North Carolina. So it shows that he is a true workhorse type of running back and has the potential to be that here at the NFL level. Now, draft capital matters for Omarion Hampton. He was the 22nd overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, which is rare territory for running backs in today's NFL. And he is a very explosive, powerful runner with elite contact balance, capable of handling all 3 downs for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, Najee Harris is on the roster, but Najee had an injury around the 4th of July that did affect his eye. He hasn't been able to practice in the preseason. And in Harbaugh's run-heavy approach, I do think that could push Hampton into an early lead down role where he's going to be the bell cow for the Los Angeles Chargers. And he has a clear path to 250 plus touches, I think, as a rookie, as well as a real chance to see double-digit touchdowns here in his first NFL season. So Omarion Hampton is definitely a running back that has RB1 potential as the year goes on, and somebody you should be drafting on your fantasy football teams. Now, the second player that I think is going to break out this year is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. And just like Hampton, he is also being drafted in the 4th round of drafts. He had a rookie season of 880 yards and 8 touchdowns, which does put him in elite company historically. Now, it was a good, not great by the standards of the people that had him on a pedestal very early on as a rookie. That year 2 breakout trend is strong among top wide receiver prospects with similar rookie numbers to what Marvin had posted as a rookie. And I do think the Cardinals are likely to adjust his usage. They're going to improve the efficiency, try and improve the catch rate of Marvin Harrison Jr., give him a couple more layup targets, and that will definitely help him break out here in his sophomore campaign. Now, he is priced down compared to last year. It does make him more of a realistic wide receiver 2 target for your fantasy football teams, where he does possess that wide receiver 1 upside if those variables do change for him going into year 2. And I do think a strong statistical season where he builds a little bit more rapport with a guy like Kyler Murray can help him see that jump that we're looking for in that year 2 breakout. Moving on to my third breakout, let's go back to the running back position. It's TreVeyon Henderson for the New England Patriots. He is currently being drafted in the 6th round of drafts at this moment. He's an explosive runner. He's a very good pass catcher. He has a skill set that's very similar to guys like Jahmyr Gibbs at the NFL level. Now, he's a strong fit for this New England offense. I think it is very clear that the New England Patriots are desperate for playmakers here to pair with Drake May as they try and revamp this Patriots offense. And he has a ton of pass catching upside in this offense. I think he could eventually be a top 3 target on this team by year's end, alongside guys like Stephon Diggs and maybe even Kyle Williams, the rookie wide receiver. Now, looking at the rookie running back historical trends, it does show that there is usually major profit to potentially have here at his current ADP. A lot of rookie running backs with his type of draft capital, with his type of prospect profile, do outperform their ADPs as rookies. So that's something we should definitely be targeting if we want to see that payoff in our fantasy football leagues. The vision, the speed, the advanced pass blocking, all of these traits are going to be things that I think help him leapfrog guys like Ramondre Stevenson, who are probably going to see some early down work at the start of the season, but it's going to be really hard to keep TreVeyon Henderson off of the football field, and he's somebody I'm definitely targeting as a breakout here in 2025. Let's go back to the wide receiver position. I think Odunze is due for a breakout here in year 2 as well, currently being drafted in the 7th round of drafts, obviously from the Chicago Bears. Now, he logged 101 rookie targets last year, which is rare volume for wide receivers drafted top 10 overall. I think he has some historical comps here that suggest that a top 20 wide receiver producer is a very realistic year 2 outcome for him in this sophomore season. Caleb Williams is a player that I think is going to see some progression under Ben Johnson. Obviously, the scheme boost is going to help Odunze's ceiling here for the Chicago Bears this year. I think there's going to be red zone opportunities, big play upside, and he should be featured in some of these new offensive play designs that Ben Johnson's going to be bringing to this team. Now, because he did underperform, so to speak, as a rookie, he does have a discounted ADP here in 2025, and I do think we're getting a very strong discount and a great value for a player of this pedigree and has this amount of opportunity on the table for him here in his sophomore season. Why don't we talk about a tight end now? Tyler Warren, tight end for the Indianapolis Colts, obviously drafted as a rookie here this year. He's being drafted in the 8th round of redraft leagues right now. He was a very versatile weapon at Penn State. He lined up in line as a slot wide receiver in the backfield, and he even was a wildcat quarterback at times for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now, he led all college pass catchers in yards versus man coverage, showing legit separation ability as a tight end operating as a wide receiver in his offense. Now, the fact that he had nearly a 50% slot usage, I do think it hints to a high volume receiving role as a rookie here for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, obviously, the Colts are lacking a little bit of healthy pass catchers right now at the moment. Josh Downs suffered a preseason injury. Michael Pittman Jr. is suffering a preseason injury. I think this could really accelerate his target share to start the season here for the Colts and put him on track to be an immediate producer at the tight end position. Now, we have had a trend over the last couple of years, guys like Sam Laporta, Brock Bowers, tight ends coming in, breaking out immediately for fantasy football. And even though that hasn't necessarily been the norm historically, it does show that the NFL is drafting these tight ends to come in and be receiving threats in the offense. I think that's what they're doing with Tyler Warren. And don't hear what I'm not saying. I don't think he's Brock Bowers, and I don't think he's Sam Laporta. That's certainly not what I'm going to be projecting for him as a rookie. Does he have that type of ceiling? Maybe, but I think he can be an immediate producer for fantasy football and should be viewed as an upside tight end option. Now, last but not least, let's talk about a quarterback. We had to get a quarterback here in this episode as well. It's going to be J.J. McCarthy, quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. He's currently being drafted in the 13th round of drafts, surrounded by some elite weapons. Obviously, you have guys like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and that's not even including the fact that he has an elite offensive line that's going to be projected a top 5 offensive line unit this year, and a quarterback-friendly play caller in Kevin O'Connell. Now, over the last 3 seasons, Vikings quarterbacks have ranked top 8 in total fantasy points scored, which does show this offense is going to produce a ton of fantasy football points. I think J.J. McCarthy has sneaky rushing upside, which does add a little bit of weekly floor to him and some ceiling potential as well. And when you look at his draft cost, obviously going there in the 13th round, he is essentially free, a low risk type of pick that you can make on your teams that I do think possesses clear quarterback 1 type of upside if the offensive line is good, if the offense is good, which we do project that to happen here in 2025 for the Vikings. So there you have it, 6 breakout candidates that I think can help your fantasy football teams here in 2025. We're going to be going through over the next couple of days doing values, busts, and sleepers for fantasy as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel, trying to help you guys win your fantasy football championships here in 2025. If you found something in today's video informative, actionable, entertaining, make sure you hit that like button for me. And last but not least, make sure you go join our free Discord. We do have a free Discord linked in the description where I'm in there helping you guys with your fantasy football teams all year round. You can ask me start sit questions, trade questions, all of that good stuff as the season goes on. So make sure you're a part of that. Like I said, free to join, so no risk in doing that. But with all of that out of the way, I have nothing else for you guys today. So I'll see you on our next episode. Until then, peace out.